For many viewers, Bargain Block wasn't just another HGTV renovation show. It was something different, something more meaningful. It told the story of Detroit in a raw, honest, hopeful way. And at the center of it all were Keith Bynum and Evan Thomas, two creators who believed that affordable housing, dignity, and creativity could coexist. When the news of the show's cancellation surfaced, fans across the country reacted with frustration, confusion, and heartbreak. People weren't simply losing a TV show, they felt they were losing a rare representation of community rebuilding on national television. Keith and Evan began their Detroit journey long before Bargain Block became a hit. Detroit, a city filled with history, hardship, and resilience, had thousands of abandoned homes. While many investors overlooked these neighborhoods, the couple saw potential where others saw decay. They bought rundown houses for as little as a few $1,000s and poured everything they had into rebuilding them. They didn't flip mansions or high-end properties. They worked in forgotten neighborhoods. They restored homes that local families could actually afford. Detroit residents quickly saw the difference. Instead of exploiting the housing market, Keith and Evan approached each project with respect for the community. They listened to neighbors, worked with local suppliers, and made design choices that honored Detroit's character. Their homes were colorful, creative, warm, and full of soul, not designed for luxury buyers, but for everyday people trying to take their first step into homeownership. When HGTV launched Bargain Block, the show immediately stood apart from typical network programming. There were no massive budgets, no mansion makeovers, and no contrived drama. It was real renovation work with limited money, damaged structures, unpredictable surprises, and intense labor. Yet the results were inspiring. Each home wasn't just visually appealing, it became a symbol of what revitalization could look like when rooted in community care rather than profit. Because of that, fans formed a deep emotional connection to the show. People loved the sincerity Keith and Evan brought. They appreciated seeing neighborhoods rebuilt at the grassroots level. They appreciated watching a renovation show that wasn't about wealth, but about hope. That's why the 2025 cancellation hit so hard. HGTV made major programming changes, cutting several fan-favorite shows at once. It was a sweeping overhaul that left viewers shocked. But out of all those cancellations, Bargain Block sparked some of the strongest reactions. Keith Bynum later confirmed publicly that the cancellation was HGTV's decision, not theirs. He expressed how grateful they were for the fans and how much the show meant to them. Evan Thomas shared that there were still many stories left to tell in Detroit and that they had hoped the series would continue. Their disappointment was sincere, and it resonated deeply with viewers. Fans went online voicing their frustration in thousands of comments. Many said that Bargain Block was one of the only HGTV shows that truly helped marginalized families and revitalized neglected communities. Some viewers expressed sadness that a show with genuine purpose had been removed, especially when it had strong ratings, a loyal fan base, and a meaningful mission. Comment sections across social platforms filled with people saying they wished networks valued substance instead of shiny, expensive reveals. There is no evidence that HGTV canceled the show because it focused on underserved communities in Detroit. Networks make programming decisions based on many internal factors: budgets, contracts, scheduling changes, strategic direction, and shifts in audience trends. HGTV never stated that the show's mission or its focus on lower-income neighborhoods played any role in the cancellation. However, the perception, the emotional reaction from fans, became a powerful conversation on its own. Viewers felt protective of the show because it represented something rare in renovation television, a genuine effort to uplift neighborhoods that were often ignored by mainstream media. And honestly, it wasn't hard to understand why fans reacted so strongly. Bargain Block didn't focus on flashy, high-end projects. It focused on restoring dignity, affordability, and hope in places many networks wouldn't choose to spotlight. That emotional connection is what made people feel that the show's cancellation hit deeper than just a programming shift. Even after the cancellation, Keith and Evan didn't slow down. They continued renovating homes in Detroit. They continued investing in the neighborhoods they love. Their social media updates showed ongoing work, sanding floors, installing trim, building custom furniture, and painting exteriors. The mission never stopped just because the cameras did. At the same time, Keith hinted that new opportunities could be on the horizon. He mentioned that discussions were happening behind the scenes with other platforms and networks. Evan said they remained hopeful about future possibilities, and neither of them ruled out bringing a Detroit-based renovation series to a new audience. Many fans believe the duo may eventually partner with a streaming service like Netflix, Hulu, Max, or Amazon, platforms known for giving creators more freedom and more control over their vision. To understand why viewers were so passionate about the show's end, it's important to look at what Keith and Evan accomplished beyond the screen. Their Detroit work wasn't just cosmetic. It had measurable impact. They improved abandoned properties, raised neighborhood morale, and provided affordable housing opportunities for first-time buyers. Several Detroit publications documented how their renovations helped increase community pride. Residents repeatedly praised their work ethic, kindness, and commitment to neighborhoods often overlooked by traditional developers. Unlike luxury-based renovation shows, Bargain Block didn't feature granite countertops as the centerpiece or multi-million-dollar budgets as the selling point. Instead, it showcased sweat, heart, and resourcefulness. It demonstrated that beauty doesn't require wealth, it requires vision, care, and creativity. Many fans said the show reflected real American struggles, abandoned homes, revitalization efforts, financial hurdles, and determination to rebuild what had been lost. This purpose-driven approach is what made the cancellation so emotional for so many. It didn't feel like the end of a television series. It felt like the silencing of a meaningful effort that was actively helping a community rebuild from decades of hardship. But the truth is, Keith and Evan never treated Bargain Block as the beginning or the end of their mission. They have consistently said that Detroit is where they belong. Their furniture store, their workshop, their projects, and their daily lives remain centered in the city. Their commitment didn't depend on network cameras. It never did. Fans continue supporting them, and many hope to see them return on a new platform that values their vision. Some believe a streaming service could give them more creative freedom and less pressure to fit the mold of traditional renovation TV. Others think a documentary-style series could follow their community-focused work with even more depth. Whatever comes next, viewers remain invested in their journey. The cancellation of Bargain Block may have closed one chapter, but it didn't close the story. The work continues. The mission continues. And Detroit continues to feel the impact of two people who chose compassion over glamour, affordability over extravagance, and community over profit. In the end, the legacy of the show isn't defined by the cancellation. It's defined by the neighborhoods restored, the homes rebuilt, the families helped, and the hearts touched. Keith and Evan didn't just make a television series. They made a difference. And that's something no cancellation can erase. Their story is still unfolding. Their work still matters. And for many viewers, this journey is far from over.
A quick pause. If you want to stay updated on all things HGTV, make sure to hit that subscribe button, like the video if you're enjoying it so far, and drop a comment to share your thoughts. Alright, let's jump back in. A quick pause. If you want to stay updated on all things HGTV, make sure to hit that subscribe button, like the video if you're enjoying it so far, and drop a comment to share your thoughts. Alright, let's jump back in.